Bien, merci beaucoup d'avoir accepté notre invitation pour ce cycle de conférences que nous organisons maintenant depuis le mois de novembre au lycée français Charles Lepierre. Donc aujourd'hui, l'IE University va effectuer sa présentation avec Madame Montaujou et Madame Oltreman. Nous sommes très heureux de vous accueillir pour cette conférence. Donc les élèves, comme d'habitude, on coupe les micros, on coupe les caméras, et une fois que la présentation sera terminée, on passe par un système de questions-réponses via le chat. Je jouerai le rôle de l'animateur fil rouge. Et puis, on essaiera donc d'échanger sur les différentes thématiques qui nous ont été présentées. Merci encore beaucoup à vous pour votre implication et je vous propose de débuter votre présentation. Bonne présentation.
Okay. Thank you very much. We're going to switch to English, which is actually the language that is spoken at IE University, because it's an international university located in Spain. Thank you everyone for being here today. My name is Gabriela and I am part of IE University team in Portugal, but I'm also a graduate from the university. I completed the Bachelor in International Relations 4.5 years ago, so today it is my pleasure to actually tell you about my own university. So as I was telling you, IE University is an international university located in Spain, with students coming from more than 50 different educational systems. 75% of the student body is not Spanish, and where more than 45 languages are spoken. This makes IE a truly international hub, a great way to actually learn about how the world is in different, from your different classmates who come from more than 130 nationalities. In my case, I was actually 28 in class from 14 different nationalities. I had even people that were from 2 different countries, so people that were half Italian and half Swedish, or were half from Singapore and half nationality from Spain. So it was a very, very unique environment, and as I was saying, a great way to learn about the world through the experiences, backgrounds of your colleagues. We have 4,100 students, so we're actually quite a small-scale university, divided in 2 campuses. We have a campus in Madrid and a campus in Segovia. I actually decided to start my first 2 years in Segovia and then move to Madrid. The reason why I chose Segovia is because it's a smaller city than Madrid, and thereby I was able to experience more of a campus experience. And after those 2 years, I was ready to move to a bigger city with different opportunities, with different extracurricular events. I mean, a great way to also learn from different professors, to meet different students that had decided to start their studies from the very first academic year in Madrid. So it was a great way to experience 2 different campuses, which are actually still interconnected, because despite studying in one campus or another, you can also join events happening during the weekend or in the afternoons in either campuses, because the cities are connected by a high-speed train that only takes 25 minutes. And how is, I mean, the teaching methodology that we have at our university? We have what we call a liquid learning methodology. Well, thanks to this methodology, we have been able, despite this current situation that we're going through at the moment, to have our campus open since September. We have students coming on campus to follow their classes. Actually, 85% of the students that have joined IE in September are coming to campus. And those that prefer following their classes from home, they can also follow their classes from home virtually. And I was actually speaking to a student that started his studies in September this year from Portugal, and I was asking him, Antonio, how's your experience so far at IE University? How are you enjoying it? And he was saying that he was very grateful of being able to continue going to class in person, but also that he was also having lots of fun, because I don't know if you're aware, but in Madrid we're actually well, we have the restaurants open, the bars are open, and although there are some restrictions, is still enabling our students to have a great integration on campus and continue, of course, learning, but also having fun while studying and starting their studies with us. So what is it that we offer? What are the degrees that you will be able to study at our university? These are some of the degrees that we offer at our university. Considering that it's an international university located in Spain, all of these degrees are fully taught in English, and they're all internationally focused. So for example, when we speak about business administration, is a degree in international business. When we speak about law, we teach international comparative law. This is a great way to actually have access to any jurisdiction around the world. So basically, if you study international comparative law at IE and you want to become a qualified practitioner in Spain, you have legal access to the master to be a qualified practitioner here. But if you wanted to then go, let's say, to France, or you wanted to go to Germany or anywhere around the world, what's most important about this international comparative law degree is that you have legal access to an SU master or program to be qualified practitioners wherever you want in the world. We also have dual degrees. These are degrees that are particularly popular amongst those students that are very high achieving academically and that are interested in understanding the interrelation between two areas of knowledge. These are the dual degrees that we offer, and what's very nice about this dual combination is that you obtain 2 full degrees in only 1 additional year and making a little bit of an extra effort each semester. All of our degrees are internationally recognized, so they are recognized by the Spanish Ministry of Education, but we are also very proud to say that we have received the accreditation of these international organizations around the world, which give lots of reputation to the university as well as to the degrees that we offer. Okay, so that if you want to go and work in a different part of the world once you complete your degree, this degree will be recognized internationally. The practical teaching methodology that IE has and its hands-on approach and international experience, we like to say that goes beyond the classroom. As I was telling you, you'll be immersed in an extremely international environment with more than 130 nationalities represented on campus, but also the professors come from over 110 nationalities. And on top of that, all of our degrees include an exchange program as part of its study plan. So our university has exchange partners or exchange agreements with more than 160 different universities across the globe, and we are allowed to go up to a year. Okay, I have friends that spend 6 months in Germany and then 6 months in Argentina, or 6 months in Turkey and then 6 months in South Korea. And what's very nice about this exchange program is that you can either go to study to a partner university, or actually you can choose one of these semesters to go and do a full-time internship of up to 6 months. This is actually what I did. I went for a year abroad to Paris, where I was studying the first semester, so from September to December in Sciences Po, and then I did a full-time internship of 6 months in the OECD, which, as you might be aware, it's the it's the Organization for Cooperation and Development in Europe. So I was a year abroad, but 6 months studying, 6 months working. So you can basically tweak your program and this year a little bit according to your personal interest. Internships, however, I have to say that they're offered from the very first academic year, okay? Because the study plan is designed in a way so that we finish classes in May to be able to put our knowledge into practice and also start deciding what do we want to do from the very first academic year during this month of June, July, including August, if you want. And you'll be probably wondering who helps us with getting these internships and preparing our CV, cover letters, and even deciding, right, what is that we want to do. Well, we have the Talent and Careers Department, which, as I was saying, helps you from the very first academic year with writing your CV, cover letters, creating a profile in LinkedIn or in other graduating platforms, but most importantly, with defining your profile as well as professional interest so that by the time you graduate, you are certain of what you want to work in, okay? We prepared, some examples of what our students are doing. We have here Valentina Rojas, who graduated from the dual degree in Business Administration and International Relations and is currently working for Amazon. Amazon is actually one of the most popular companies at our university, but also one of our top recruiters. So what's most important is not only our students like to apply to the company, but we are also profiles that we like, that seem very interesting for Amazon. So Amazon, Google, and other tech companies have been our top recruiters in the past years, but we have students working across different industries in different parts of the world. We also saw an example of, for example, Pablo Fodar. He's actually a friend of mine. He's currently working for JP Morgan, but while studying at IE, he developed a business idea where he delivered paellas. Probably you are aware with paellas, which is one of the most popular meals in Spain. So he delivered paellas at home, and this is something that he now does as a part-time job because he's currently working for JP Morgan. But it's another example. We are also very proud to say that 95% of our students that graduated in 2019 are currently working. The average time that our students manage to get a job upon graduation is 6 months. So on average of 6 months, our students either get a full-time job or an internship opportunity. And amongst other things, it's because how well-rounded they are. They have decided to study one degree, but have decided to build their own path and tweak their program according to your interest. And we have different ways through which we encourage our students to do this. We have the mentoring and counseling department. So all students, independently from the degree that they're studying and where they're coming from, are assigned a tutor from the very first academic year, which is it tends to be a professor or an academic director of the program that you're studying, who will kind of guide you throughout your degree and also assist you with anything that you may need academically. So they ask you, for example, how you're doing with your subjects when summer approaches and you're thinking about internship opportunities. They ask you if you need help with your applications. They put you in contact with people that they know within the industry to help you find the job opportunity that you want, and so on. And on top of that, you are also assigned a mentor, which is a student from a year above, okay, who you can approach with more, let's say, fun and extracurricular related questions, such as, for example, I don't know, which is the bar that you usually go to, and where you would suggest me to go and have a drink when I arrive to my university so that I meet the other fellows. Or maybe you have a problem in your house, and you need, or you don't know how to, for example, rent the Wi-Fi, and you want to ask them. Or maybe you don't want to go to an apartment, you're considering different residences, and you want a student to recommend you the best residence according to their experience in Segovia or in Madrid. So you are assigned from the very first academic year a tutor to help you with more academic related questions, and you're assigned a student from a year above to help you with more extracurricular and fun related questions, okay? All students at IE, although the spoken language is English, can learn another language alongside their degree, such as Spanish. Okay, actually, for those that do not speak Spanish, it is mandatory to graduate at least with an intermediate level. So for this, you have complementary classes in Spanish alongside your degree. But if you want to learn any other language, the Language Center offers Chinese Mandarin, French, not in your case, but maybe German, or Russian, or Arabic, any language you could think of, okay? Actually, they're subject to students' demand. So if there is a language that you'd be interested in learning and it's not offered, you can always speak to the Language Center and they can try to open it in case there are other students as well at IE interested in learning that language. We also have clubs, okay? We have over 125 different clubs, which are all created and led by students. And here you have some examples, such as the debate club, the dancing club, the music club, the cooking club, the literature club. We, of course, also have sport-related clubs, such as the tennis club, the weightlifting club, the rugby club, the swimming club. Again, as I was saying, these are all subject to students' demands. So if there is something that does not exist and it's fundamental for you to continue doing as part of your extracurricular time at IE, you can always propose it, and as long as there are other 4 or 5 people interested in joining your club, you will be able to launch it. I actually created a club that was called the Beer Net Club, and you'll be probably wondering, Beer Net Club, why? So basically, at IE, the majority of the professors are businessmen or people that work for other companies or for their own companies. So they teach you, I mean, it's amazing because they teach you from experience, right? And I always thought that we weren't taking as much advantage of it as we should. So basically, the aim of this club was to invite 2 or 3 professors every week to a restaurant or to a bar across campus and get them a coffee or a Coke or a beer or a drink, basically, and ask them how did they end up working, for example, for the marketing department of Gillette, or how did they end up being the CEO of a company related to fintech, or how did they end up being diplomats of Spain in different countries, right? And in this way, we would also, let's say, get an idea of the steps that we would need to take in order to obtain the end goal, dream goal that we had in mind, that we wanted to be in the future. There are also a series of events that go in line with IE, let's say, identity. These are actually events that have also been created, the majority of them, by IE students. And it's to promote the diversity of the university, to have fun, there are events related to women, events related to entrepreneurship, events related to more voluntary activities. Actually, my favorite one, on top of the spring ball and winter ball, we will all wear like long dresses and smart attires, because it's like a party. My second favorite event is the IE Global Village. It's basically kind of like a big food market where students have to, well, cook or bake meals from their home countries. Then you make like a sale of that food, and all the money that is raised is given to different charities that all the student community decides to collaborate with that year. So it's a great event on top of lots of fun. And just to wrap up a little bit on the way that you should apply to a university in case you consider it, but also for you to understand the type of profile of students that we're looking for, I'm going to just briefly run through the admission process. We have our own admission process that consists of 5 different stages, including an admission test, okay? This admission process aims not only at evaluating the academic profile of the student, but also the extracurricular profile of the students, okay? Which is why we like to say that when looking for candidates, we look at well-rounded profiles, okay? So throughout the different stages, we will be asking you, what are your hobbies? Have you done any kind of internship or voluntary work? Are you a member of any clubs or any teams within school, outside school? I can see that you're educated in an international school, but have you always lived in Portugal? Have you had the opportunity to live in different parts of the world? Maybe have attended a summer program of 2 weeks or of a month in a different part of the world, or maybe you've done some online courses. So we want to know who you are and why you are the way you are. So and how you can contribute to the community of our university, right? So it's very much aimed at finding the uniqueness in each one of the students considering the university, and to also ensure that we will be able to comply with and meet what you're expecting from our university. And since I only thought that I was going to have very limited time, this is all from my side. This is the most important slide of all the presentation, because if you were to have any questions related to IE and you, asked through a general inbox of IE, you would be redirected to myself. So please note down my contact details. And I've also created this QR code because since we cannot provide you with any documents as we used to be able to do so in the past when we were able to visit you in person, through this QR code, you would be redirected to a questionnaire, or let's say a form, where you will be able to choose the program of your interest. And as soon as you submit the form, you would receive an email from our university with the prospectus attached to the email, okay? If you are undecided and do not know very well what you'd like to study, which is absolutely fine, do not worry. There's also the option of undecided, and in this way you receive the general prospectus of IE attached to the email, okay? So let me know if you have any questions, because I believe that we have only a few minutes left.
Merci beaucoup pour votre présentation, Gabriela. Thanks a lot. On va effectivement passer aux questions. La présentation était très claire. Alors, on va aller sur le chat. Johanna nous demande, if we decide to study to the PPL degree, do we have to take math specialty during high school? Because, then actually for the high school, we have in France a new French baccalaureate, and we have a new specialty. The students have to choose for the 12 and 13 years, and mathematics is one of the questions. Do they have to take mathematics?
So math is important, but business is not a mathematical degree. If you were applying to economics, or if you were applying to data and business analytics, or architectural studies, I'd say yes. For business, it's not mandatory.
Alors, est-ce qu'il y a d'autres questions autres que Johanna? Est-ce que vous pourriez peut-être juste nous rappeler, remind us, how do we apply, and until what time, and
Of course. So at IE, we have a rolling admissions policy, meaning that there is actually no deadline or no official deadline to submit their applications. Nonetheless, the tendency in the past years has been that approximately in mid-May, we start opening the waiting list of many degrees, predominantly those related to business, which are the most popular ones. And thereby, I always recommend students to complete their application by the end of April. In this case, let's say if you're applying for September 2021, in April 2021, in order to avoid a waiting list, okay? As for the different stages that compose the admission process, as I was saying, it consists of 5 different stages. The online application, which is the first stage, is the most extensive section of the admission process, as they ask you lots of information related to your academic profile as well as extracurricular profile. So they ask you, in which school are you currently studying? Have you studied in other schools beforehand? They ask you to submit your grades from the past 3 years. They also ask you for your grades of, for a CV, okay? So you have to create a curriculum. They also ask you for 2 letters of recommendation. One of this has to be confidential, so you will be asked to introduce the email address of the person you'd like to, that he, she completes the reference letter for you. and the other letter of recommendation, you can upload it, okay? They also ask you about your hobbies, they ask you about different activities that you're involved in your extracurricular activities within school or outside school. They ask you, for example, if you like to travel, how do you consider yourself? Okay, so what are your aptitudes? And yeah, that's basically the online application. The second stage is the admission test, and you'll be probably panicking now. I don't want to do an admission test. No. It's a psychotechnical test that does not require any kind of previous preparation, I promise. All the information is in the admission test, okay? What's most difficult about it is that you have a very limited time to complete a certain amount of questions, which in some occasions you don't even know how many questions there are in that section, okay? However, you have instructions and sample exercises before starting each official section, so do not panic, okay? There is no reason why to panic. You can even actually use a calculator for your numerical section, and you have a member of the admissions team assisting you throughout the admission test in case you have any queries, okay? The third section is an online assessment. It's a section that allows the admissions committee to get an insight of your personality before passing on to a possible personal interview. And this section consists of 3 different questions, 2 of which you have to record yourself answering the question within a time limit, okay? And the third section, the third question, you also have to answer within a time limit, but in a written format, okay? So very, very important to ensure that your camera is working and that your microphone is working, okay? Once you complete this first 3 sections, the admissions committee makes an initial evaluation of your profile, and should they consider the candidate eligible to pass on to the next stage, they will invite them to the personal interview. The personal interview is nothing to worry about. It's actually, I have to say that from my experience, it was something that I remember as fun, because they were asking me lots of questions about myself, information that I had already provided in the first stages of the admission process. So it was an opportunity to actually extend more in my answers and explain them better, who I was and why I was applying to that degree, why university. So basically the questions that the committee asks you are related to the information that you've provided throughout the first 3 stages of the admission process. And it's also a great opportunity to ask questions, to maybe include information that you feel that you haven't had the opportunity to include as part of the application, or that you missed, or that you have done since you have submitted your application you want to add. So I have to say that it was something that I recall as very that I enjoyed, something that I enjoyed. Once the student completes the personal interview, within 5 to a maximum of 15 days, they receive the final resolution from the admissions committee. And you're probably wondering, what are the possible outcomes of the final resolution? Well, it's no admission, or in your case, another possibility would be conditional admission subject to your final grades. Okay, so as I was saying, the admissions committee in the online application asks you for your grades from the past 3 years, okay? And based on your academic trajectory together with your extracurricular profile, they will be deciding whether you comply with the requirements or not. But since we don't have your final grades, they will be granting you conditional admission subject to those final grades. Okay.
Merci beaucoup. Alors, il y a une question about la moyenne. Do the student, do they have a minimum, average minimum, or there is?
Yes, we do. It's a 14, 15 out of 20, depending on the degree that you decide to apply to. But as I was saying, we have a holistic approach. So the extracurricular profile of the student is very important, as well as the academic profile. So even if the student has a 19 out of 20, but his extracurricular profile is not very strong, I've seen the admissions committee sometimes say that they are not a good profile for the university.
So other question, what's the big difference between the low TOEFL and at PPLE and the one at LLB?
Okay, so that's a very good question. basically, I mean, a Bachelor of Laws is studying a degree in law, and then studying a degree in politics, philosophy, law, and economics is a multidisciplinary degree through which you learn the interrelation between politics, philosophy, and economics and law, throughout the first 3 years. But in the 4th year, we allow you to concentrate in the area you like most. So if you want to focus on economics, you focus on economics. If you want to focus on philosophy, you focus on philosophy. However, to those students that choose to concentrate in the 4th year in law, we give them the opportunity to do a 5th additional year. Why do we give this opportunity to students that choose to study politics, philosophy, law, and economics? Because maybe when studying the first 2 years, they've decided that actually they're very interested in law and they would like to be able to be lawyers, or at least to have the opportunity in the future. So by choosing law and doing the 5th additional year in law, they obtain 2 full degrees in 5 years. One in politics, philosophy, law, and economics, and another one in international comparative law. Okay, and I think that the other degree that you would be interested in is law with international relations. Sorry, I think that they mentioned 3. They mentioned law, politics, philosophy, law, and economics, and
below those are PPLE and LLB.
So LLB is a Bachelor of Laws. So LLB is the same as Bachelor of Laws, and then politics, philosophy, law, and economics is another degree that I've just explained. I don't know if I was clear enough.
What's other question? What's like the English level that we should have?
Okay, so the English level that we recommend is a proficiency level, okay, at least an advanced level, according to the Cambridge exams. However, we actually do not require, so it's not mandatory to include a certificate that certifies your level of English as part of your application process, because we evaluate your level of English throughout the different stages that compose the admission process. Okay, so if you have it, great, you can include it. But if you do not have it, or you prefer not including it, it's not mandatory, because we will evaluate your level of English throughout the different stages. All the application must be completed completely in English.
Okay, great. So then how can we train for the admission test?
So there is no way to prepare, I'm sorry. However, on the website, there are well, some descriptions of the different stages that compose the application process. And you can also see some videos of practical examples for you to also get an idea of what each section is going to be about. However, as I was saying beforehand, what's most important is that you when you do the test, that you take your time to carefully read the instructions and do the sample exercises before officially starting the section.
And so a question about the fees, how much does it cost?
Okay, so the degrees are 21,000 euros a year. The dual degrees are 23,000 euros a year. We offer scholarships. We have every year between 20 to 25 different types of scholarships that provide between 10% up to 100% of financial aid. However, I mean, obviously students need to first go through the admissions process and be granted either conditional or definite admission to apply for financial aid, okay?
And do we have to translate our report card?
No, you don't need to translate anything. As I was saying, we have students coming from more than 50 different educational systems, including the French back in different parts of the world. So no, there is no need. Actually, if letters of recommendation, the person that you request a letter of recommendation, that your professor, your tutor, the director of the school counselor prefers to write the reference letter in French, that's absolutely fine as well. The transcripts and the letters of recommendation are the only documents that we can accept in other languages. Okay. We actually also take care of the co-validation of the diploma and so on once you come to, like if you decided to enroll in Année.
Okay, so I think I think that there is no more question. Vous avez encore d'autres questions, les élèves, ou Gabriela a parfaitement répondu à toutes vos attentes? Je pense que c'était très complet. Non, c'était très complet. Vous avez répondu à toutes les questions. La présentation, de toute manière, est très claire. Est-ce qu'on peut vous demander, is it possible for you to send us the presentation?
Of course.
Okay.
I can show you the presentation.
Okay. Then we'll put it on our website.
Okay, and if any of you have any questions or would like to learn more about iUniversity, just to let you know, we have a virtual open house coming, happening on March 13, and it's a very big event virtually where you will be able to also learn more in detail about the university. There are also going to be master classes of the different degrees. In case you are undecided and want to decide what degree you'd like to study. It's also an opportunity to speak with current students virtually. So I think it could possibly also be an event of your interest. But again, as I mentioned, if you have any questions, please feel free to bombard me with as many emails as you like. I'm here to help you.
Okay, thanks a lot. Merci à tous les élèves pour la présence. Merci à Gabriela, merci à Inès. Peut-être un dernier mot, Inès ou Gabriela, ou
we just wanted to really thank you so much for having us. It's always a pleasure.
Okay.
Always a pleasure. Thank you.
Ok, donc j'espère que nous pourrons nous retrouver en présentiel l'année prochaine. On vous souhaite une très bonne journée. Merci à tous les élèves et puis à très bientôt. Thanks a lot.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.